Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another video. In today's video, at the request of many of you, I'm going to be sharing with you my new Ninja specialty coffee maker. So if you're interested in seeing how this thing works, then stay with me. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Kristi. Today's video is a little different than what I normally do. Normally on my channel, I do meal preps, meal plans, grocery hauls, what's for dinner videos, weight loss type related things, and food things. So if you're interested in those type of videos, I would love for you to join our family by clicking that subscribe button. So a lot of you have requested that I kind of show a rundown or review, not really a review. I will tell you right off the bat, I love this coffee maker. So as far as a review, I love it. But a lot of you have asked if I can show kind of like how it works, all the different functions that there are, so that's what I'm doing today. So let me head over and show you all the functions this has. I want to first start this video by saying this is not a paid review. This is not a sponsored video. The company doesn't even know that I'm doing this video. They are not paying me to show this. They did not even send this to me for free. I purchased this myself on Amazon, which I'll put a link down below to this actual coffee maker that I purchased. So I originally was going to go with the Ninja hot and cold brew. And the only reason that I decided against that one was, number one, the price. It was pretty high. It was like $180 to $220 depending on which carafe you get. But from what I could see, that one, the only difference was that one does like tea and it does cold brew. And I'm not a tea drinker and I'm not a cold brew drinker. So this one was definitely a better choice for me. This one I think I paid about $129 for. So a little bit higher than a normal price coffee maker, but I love it. It was absolutely worth the money as far as I'm concerned. So I'm going to go through and just kind of show you how this works. So the first thing I want to mention is it is pretty high and it does measure about 15 inches from the bottom to the top. So you definitely need to make sure that you have clearance under your cabinets. And the other thing is this does steam pretty good, so you're going to need to pull it out from under the cabinet. For us, it's not really a big deal. We did that with our Keurig anyway, so it's not really a big deal. I usually buy just these placemats and I put it under there so then I can just slide it in and out real easy. Okay, so basic functions. It has the little swivel thing to hold the filters. So it does come with some of the number 4 paper filters. We actually purchased a few more, but you can purchase one of the the reusable ones, and that's probably what I'm going to do, is purchase one of those. So you just set that in there and it just kind of swivels back into place. So it does have a drip stop here. You can just close that and that will stop the flow of the coffee coming out. So if you're making like a big pot of it, you can stop that to pour out a cup. We usually also put it over to the side when we're done using it, like when it's done making up, if we're doing just a cup of coffee, because it will drip down onto the warmer. So it has a glass carafe. The only thing that I would say is you really need to get like a bottle brush to be able to wash in there. I don't use bottle brushes for like washing glasses, and I usually use my hand, but as you can see, I cannot fit my hand in there. So you definitely need to get a bottle brush to wash the inside of there. And then this does, because it's a glass carafe, this does have a warming pad on it. This warming pad is already set by default to stay on for 2 hours. It's got like they call it intelligent, or it's like a smart warming pad, where when the coffee gets low, my understanding from what I read, when the coffee gets low, it will kind of lower the heat on that so that the coffee doesn't get that burnt flavor. You can go into the settings though and change this up to 4 hours, I think it said. I will never need to change that because I can guarantee you we will drink our whole pot of coffee within 2 hours, no problem. But that does have that ability. It has the ability to change it up to 4 hours and also to change it from high to low. By default, it's set on high and 2 hours. On the side here, it has a Ninja Smart Scoop. So this has all the different settings. I don't know if you can see. There we go. So it has the small size for a regular size cup of coffee and extra large, and it tells you how many scoops to use, so 2 to 3. Or it has the travel mug size, regular travel mug or extra large, and that is 3 to 5 scoops. It then on this side has, let me focus, the half carafe 3 to 4 and the full carafe 4 to 6, and then the specialty is 2 scoops. So the specialty is kind of like for cappuccinos and things like that. That's the one I use at nighttime. I use the regular cup for morning, and then I use this one for the specialty at night. And the specialty, that's where this comes into play. So when I was on the hunt for a coffee maker, this didn't matter to me. I didn't really care either way whether I had a frother. But now it is, I absolutely love it. You just push the button at the top to make it spin on the bottom, and I will show you with it. I'll make a cup of here in a minute. This just comes right off, and you just wash it right off right after, and it screws right back on. But it is, you know, you do have to hold the button down while you're doing it. It doesn't have like an on-off. The minute you let go of the button, it's gonna stop. The only thing with this is it does not warm your milk or whatever you're heating. I'm gonna actually be using almond milk. It doesn't warm it, so you do have to warm it in the microwave first if you want it hot. Now, my daughter likes to have iced coffee. So she basically just puts some ice cubes in some cups, so when she froths, she doesn't warm hers. And then that just tucks back in there like that, super easy. Then here it has the drop down, that is for doing your cup. So you do your cup on here, and then your carafe or your travel cup will go on here. The heating pad will not heat unless you have the carafe on there and you choose the carafe function. So let me show you that. First, before we get to all the settings and everything, let me show you the water reservoir. So it just slides right off of there. And it has these little grooves that you can kind of carry. I don't know if you can kind of see that. And then it has these marks on the side, and that tells you how much water you need for each one. So if you're making a full pot, then you need it right up to the lines. Basically, if you're making a full carafe, you would need it to that line, half travel size, and then the minimum fill lines for the cups. And then it also has little pouches on the front too, where you can put your fingers to hold it. So that's very easy to hold with one hand, and it just very easily locks back down on there. And let me just show you on the water how it opens. So it just opens like that, and it has a little line here that's the max line, so you don't want to bring the water up past that line, and then it just sits back down there. Okay, here are all the settings. So it has obviously the clock. You set the hour and minute. You can set this for delay brew, so you can set it to go off in the morning. Basically, you're just setting the time. You're gonna, well, hit the power button first. You're gonna hit delay brew, and actually, it's beeping because the drip stop. I had the drip stop on. So that's the noise it'll make. And the first time I heard that, I thought, oh my gosh, something's wrong. What's going on? But if you can hear it, it just beeps a little and flashes. So that drip stop has to be off. So for the delay brew, you're just gonna hit it and then just set your time. And that's all there is to that. And then you hit it again after you set your time, and the light will come on telling you that it's set. It has a stay warm button, so if you want to turn the warmer on, you can. However, it's beeping and flashing that it will not do, it's not going to come on when you have it on travel mug. So when you fill your travel mug, you're going to have your travel mug right on here rather than here, because that's not going to be high enough. So this knows not to turn the warmer on when you have a travel mug on there. So it has to be either on half carafe or full carafe in order for that to go on. All right, these are all the settings. So you have one cup, you have an extra large cup, you have a travel, multi-serve, half carafe, and full carafe. So to choose those, you just go through each one, and it just kind of lights up. I don't know if you can really see that because the light shine. So you have all your settings of your sizes, and then you have your different coffees. So if you want classic, which is, you know, just your regular general cup of coffee, you would push classic. If you want rich, you would put rich, and then over ice, and then specialty. So if I want to do just a regular cup of coffee, I am going to put my cup on there. I'm going to put my coffee in, and I'm going to just hit classic. And then it's going to start, and I don't want it to do it right now since I don't have anything on there. Now, if I want it rich, then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put it on cup or whichever one I want, hit rich, and then it's going to do rich. Now, the difference that it's going to do in those, for a cup, if you have it on cup and you do classic, it's going to give you 9.5 ounces. If you want rich, it's going to give you 8.7 ounces. And then over ice is different. And I'm not real familiar with having it over ice, so I don't want to go into too much on that because I'm just not familiar with that. The extra large, if you have it on extra large cup, it's 11.5 ounces that it's going to yield, 10.3 ounces if you choose rich. Travel mug is going to give you 14 ounces and 13.2 ounces if you do rich. Extra large multi-serve is 18 ounces and 16 ounces if you do rich. You don't need to adjust anything for specialty brew, because for specialty brew you don't even need to pick anything. It's always going to yield 4 ounces for specialty brew. So when I do specialty brew, I don't even think it matters. Yeah, it doesn't even matter what you have it on when you do specialty brew. You can have it on cup or carafe. It's not going to matter because specialty is only going to do 4 ounces. It's going to take the light off of all of those. So that's the one that I usually do for like a cappuccino. So I talked about the intelligent warming plate that automatically turns on during the half carafe or a full carafe size of classic or rich blue. You can also hit that stay warm button to shut the warmer off as well. Usually what we do when we're done, we just shut the power off to it. It keeps on the clock, but still shuts the power off. So I did test these, and I tested it about a week ago, so I'm hoping I get these right. When you're just doing a regular cup, it takes about 2 to 3 minutes to brew a regular cup. When you are doing the full carafe, it takes about 5 to 6 minutes. If I'm wrong, I will test it again tomorrow morning, and if I'm wrong, I'll put it down across the screen how much it takes. So let me show you how to do the specialty, and I want you to be able to hear this as well, because the way that this goes through the brewing cycle, at first when you get it, you're going to think something's wrong with it, because it does start a little bit loud, and then it will just kind of trickle, and it kind of stops right at the beginning. You think something's wrong, but it's just part of the way that the brewing works, and then it'll continue on after. So I'm going to put my paper liner right down in there. So I'm actually going to make a cappuccino. So I am going to put a half a cup of unsweetened vanilla almond milk in my cup, and I'm going to stick that in the microwave for about a minute. Okay, now I'm going to measure out my coffee. So I'm using my good old Dunkin' coffee. And for the specialty, if you remember, we need 2 of the big scoops. So this is going to be very concentrated because this is only going to yield 4 ounces of the coffee. And then for the spoon, I just wipe that out with a paper towel and stick it right back on there. And then I usually wash it like every other day. So then we're going to close that. All right, now I've got my warm almond milk. So now we're just going to get this frothing. So what you want to do is just get it so that it's right barely underneath the milk. And you want to do this for between 30 and 45 seconds. Okay, so that's been about 30 to 45 seconds, and as you can see, that is very frothy. So then just take this over to the sink and rinse it off. I'm actually going to just set it behind me for now. But normally I would just carry my cup over to the sink with that and just rinse it off and then put it right back on here. All right, now we're gonna get this baby on here. So just set it on the cup holder, and on this one I'm gonna turn the power on. And like I said, it doesn't really matter what it's on when you're doing specialty. You're just gonna hit the specialty button, and then it's gonna start here in a minute. So while that gets ready to go, I'm gonna rinse my frother. And so as you can see, it's just kind of dripping now. So that's normal for it to stop dripping like that. Now it's going to kick back in. You're going to hear the brew going again. That's just part of the normal cycle. Now, one other thing is, this is just the way that I make my specialties. So some people do the froth separate and they actually pour the froth on top of the coffee. This is how I do mine. So that, how you do that is completely up to you. But while you're frothing, you could actually have another cup that's on there that's doing your coffee and then kind of put the froth on it afterwards. That's totally up to you though. All right, and it is coming to an end now. So it'll sit there dripping like that, and then it's gonna beep and tell you that it's at the end. And as you can see, it's saying end. But as you can see, it is still dripping. So if I take that off right now, I'm gonna end up with coffee on my warming plate. So I usually just let it drip here for a few seconds, but then like I said, then we just take this and we close that drip stop and it'll stop it from dripping. And that, my friends, is so good. And then, you know, the water, like I said, it only uses 4 ounces for the specialty, so I've got plenty enough water in there for morning. Now, if I was going to be making a full carafe for morning, I would definitely just go ahead and top it off a little bit just to make sure that water line is all the way to the top. So now I'll just take this out and dump my filter. Like I said, you can use these paper filters, but they do have reusable filters. I'm going to link this coffee maker down in the description box, and if I remember, I'll go online to Amazon and see if I can find the reusable filters as well, and I'll link those down below. I can't really give you any type of review on the best to buy for those because I've actually not bought any yet. And also, the other thing I forgot to tell you about is the clean button. There's a button that says clean right here. When it gets to where this machine needs to be cleaned, that button will illuminate. It will light up letting you know that the unit needs to be clean. As with any type of coffee makers, you do need to clean them and descale them. They get the calcium scale buildup, and that is no good for the flavor of your coffee. So basically what you're going to want to do is put it on a full carafe. And if you have a descaling solution that you purchased, you can use that. When I had my Keurig, I actually used to purchase the descaling solution from Keurig. They had it on Keurig.com. But there were times that I ran out. So if you use the solution, just read the instructions on your solution and do it according to that. If you don't have the solution, you can definitely use good old vinegar. So you can use white vinegar. What you'll do is fill the water reservoir to the travel line with white vinegar. Don't use any other kind of vinegar. Don't be trying to use apple cider vinegar or anything like that. Use white vinegar. So white vinegar up to the travel line, and then the rest of it is going to be water, and then you're just going to hit that clean button. It's going to take about an hour, and they recommend, obviously, don't interrupt that cycle. Let it go for an hour and clean it out. And then Once you hit that clean button, then the clock will start and it'll count down for the whole 60 minutes. And then during that cycle, you'll hear it pausing and starting just like it does with coffee. That's normal. It has, you know, the extended pauses and things like that. That is while it's cleaning and descaling. Then after it's done, it's going to beep. You're going to see the words end and the clean light will turn off. And then what you'll want to do when it's done, you'll want to wash out both the water reservoir and the carafe, and then you're going to fill the water reservoir with water and let it run through a full cycle. So you'll just put it on carafe and hit start and just let it run through a full cycle to just clean out any remaining vinegar that's in there or any solution that's in there. Let it run through one time. And that's it. That's all there is to that. So I hope you found this video informative. If you did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. Put in the comments down below and let me know the type of coffee maker that you are using and what your thoughts are on it. So thank you all so much for watching. If you're new, I hope you'll subscribe. I'll talk to you in my next video. I'm Kristi and I'm Planning Us Healthy.